Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a saber-toothed tiger. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the head. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a cup, a bowl, or anything else with a circular edge. Draw a horizontal line across the circle as a guide to help you place the facial features. On the left side of the circle, draw a short vertical line for the first part of the muzzle. Don't place this line too far away from the circle. Connect this line to the circle using two sloping lines to finish the guide for the muzzle. Pay attention to the size of this shape in relation to the circle. At the bottom, draw a big rectangular shape as a guide for the lower jaw. First, draw two sloping lines for the side of the guide. Close off the shape at the bottom with a shorter sloping line. Inside the head, near the top left edge, draw a small circle as a guide for the eye. Inside the muzzle, draw an angled line that creates a triangle as a guide for the nose. On the top right side of the head, draw a big arc as a guide for the ear. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Use the small circle inside the head as a guide to draw the eye. Draw an angled line for the outer edge of the eye. This line should be similar to a greater than sign. On the left side, draw a couple of wavy lines for the corner of the eye. Make the corner of the eye pointy. The corner of the eye should point toward the nose. Darken the left edge of the circle for the eyeball. Make the lines for the eye thick and dark. Inside the eye, off to the side, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. Near the middle of the eye, draw a small circle and shade it in for the pupil. On the sides of the eyes, draw a couple of short lines that are made up of short strokes to indicate the brow. Use the triangle inside of the muzzle as a guide to draw the nose. Follow the basic path of the guide as you draw the shape of the nose. Make the sides of the nose wavier than the initial guide. On the right side of the nose, draw a curved line for the nostril. Make the corners of the nose thin and pointy. Darken the line above the nose to create the top part of the muzzle. Make the line more curved than the guide. At the bottom, darken the basic path of the guide to create the lower edge of the muzzle. Extend the line farther to the right so that it's inside the head. The right tip of the line should be below the eye. Draw a few short curved lines to the left of the eye for creases. Curve these lines to emphasize the snarl. To the right of the nose, draw a few rows of dots for the bases of the whiskers. The rows of dots should have a diagonal orientation. On the bottom edge of the muzzle, lightly sketch a long thin shape for the first canine. Pay attention to the length and placement of the canine in relation to the big circle. Make the canine wide at the top and then gradually make it thin and pointy at the bottom. Draw the base of the canine as a wavy line. Draw a couple more lines on the sides for the gums. To the left, draw a few small pointy shapes for the other teeth. Draw these shapes so that they overlap one another. Don't make the front teeth too big. To the left of the first canine, draw another long, thin shape for the canine that's on the other side. Use the first tooth as a guide when you draw this canine. This canine should be slightly smaller because it's on the other side. Draw a long curved line along the bottom of the head for the open mouth. Extend the bottom of this line so that it's inside the shape for the lower jaw. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape right. At the bottom, draw two small triangular shapes for the lower canines. Place the canine to the left outside of the guide. The canine on the right should be slightly bigger. Draw another long curved line on the right side for the gums. The shape of the gums should be wide at the bottom. Below the open mouth, draw a series of short strokes for the chin. Follow the basic path of the initial guide as you draw the chin. Inside the mouth, draw a long curved line for the tongue. Draw a vertical line inside the tongue for a crease. Draw a couple of short lines to the left of the tongue for the other side of the open mouth. Use the arc on the top right side as a guide to draw the ear. Darken the arc and add a few wavy lines at the bottom for creases on the ear. Draw a few short strokes inside the shape for the ear's furry opening. Add more strokes at the bottom for the furry base of the ear. Use the big circle as a guide to draw the rest of the head. Follow the basic path of the circle to create the shape of the head. Make the top of the head flatter than the initial circle. Draw a short curved line on the left side for the brow. Draw a few short strokes to the right of the ear for the top of the neck. On top of the head, draw a short curved line for the visible section of the other ear. At the bottom, draw a series of short strokes for the furry lower edge of the head. Add a few more lines inside the head for creases. Draw a big curved shape on the right side for the side of the head. Use longer strokes as you draw this shape for longer fur. Pay attention to the distance between this shape and the edge of the initial circle. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the lines when you get the shape right. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. You don't have to erase all of the guidelines. It's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Use a medium value across the entire head. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Between the canines at the bottom, draw a few small pointy shapes for the lower row of teeth. Shade the inside of the eye using a light value. Don't overlap the tiny highlight circle as you shade the eye. As you shade, use strokes that go in the direction of the fur. The fur mainly radiates outward from the muzzle. Slowly and gradually make the values darker across the head. As you shade, separate each stroke a bit so that the white of the paper comes through and creates a furrier texture. Add a darker value across the head to create shadows. Shadows will give the head more dimension and volume. Pick a light source as you shade so that the shadows are consistent across the head. Here the light source is coming from the top, so most of the shadows will be on the undersides of the shapes. Darken the final lines to emphasize the shapes. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the Saber-Toothed Tiger. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com, where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you'd like to support my channel, please consider buying my books on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.